patterns in the present tense, in the past tense, and in the future tense. And now we're going to kind of, instead of continuing to progress with the typical examples, we're going to take a step back and we're going to cover some of the exceptions that I talked about before. These are commonly categorized as what's called irregular verbs. So these are verbs that kind of look at the rules and say, no thanks. So I've got these kind of broken apart into a few different buckets that we can talk about. And then if time allows, we'll do our typical A to Z in Spanish, where we pick out a few fun words. But you know, I wanna do something where this is both informative to you all, but then can be relaxing as well, relaxing and learning. And then, if you go to sleep because of it, all the better. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. And the first category that we have is those that undergo the spelling changes. And those are going to be different from what you would expect as far as patterns, and you'll see what I mean as soon as we get into it. So the first word we have is conocer, conocer, C-O-N-O-C-E-R, conocer, which means to know. And that's typically when talking about people or a place. So if you say that you know somebody, you would use conocer. If you wanted to say you know something like a fact, then you would use the verb saber, which we'll actually get to later. But let's get into the conjugations for conocer. So for yo, conocer becomes conozco, C-O-N-O-Z-C-O, conozco. Tú conoces. Él, ella, usted conoce. Conocemos. And conocen. So the yo form on most of these is what's going to be abnormal, but it's still good to know across the board. So conocer, conocer. Next is going to be hacer, which is to do or to make, like make your bed kind of thing. The yo form is going to be hago, H-A-G-O, hago. Haces, hace, hacemos, and hacen, hacer, hacer. Next is going to be traer, which means to bring something. And that's going to be traigo, T-R-A-I-G-O, traigo, traigo, traigo. Tú is going to be traes. Él, usted trae. Nosotros traemos. And él, usted trae. Traer. Next is salir, which means to leave or go out, like leave from somewhere. It's going to be salgo, S-A-L-G-O, salgo. And then sales, sale, salemos, and sale. Next is saber, which means to know. And as I clarified earlier, this is going to be more about facts. If you know something, if you're knowledgeable about something. And that's going to be sé, S-E with acento, sé. Sabes, sabe, sabemos, and sabe. So we've got conocer, to know. Hacer, to do or to make. Traer, to bring. Salir, to leave or go out. Saber, to know. Facts. That's your spelling changes. These are going to be your spelling changes. Next category that I have for you all in the irregular verbs is stem changes. And what that means is that a lot of times you can see the main portion of the verb remains. So in these spelling changes, the main change is on the yo form. On the stem changes, there's going to be a change in the part of the verb itself that will then carry through for the rest of the conjugations. And you'll see what I mean when we get to it. But you can see here the base of the verb conocer is largely the same, the C-O-N-O-C, and then the base changes based on that. That remains the same, but the ending changes, with the exception of the yo form. This is going to be a little bit different. A portion of the verb itself changes. The first one we'll start with is querer, which means to want. This is a verb you definitely want to know. And that's going to change to where it's Q-I-E-R-O. So it adds an I into the verb itself. So it's quiero, quieres, quiere. And then it does not change on the nosotros form. So that's queremos. And then back, quieren. So nosotros is largely exempt from this conjugation form. Poder. Poder. I always remember this one, like poder, if you read it poorly or too fast, it might look like power. It gives you the power to be able. It means to be able to do something. Poder is going to be puedo. So the O changes to a UE. Puedes. Puede. Podemos. Again, sticking with the original root. And then nosotros. And then pueden. So I hope everyone's kind of following the pattern. It's just what you have to know is how it changes from the base to the stem change, and then nosotros defaults back. Decir means to say. To say. Decir is to say. And then I'll actually go ahead and put our next one down here. Jugar, which means to play. And then I'm just blanked out on decir. That's okay. I know that the two form is dices. Dice. Decimos. It'll come back to me. And dicen. Digo. Sorry about that. Yeah, digo. And then jugar adds an E. Juego. I play. Juegas. You play. Juega. He, she. Jugamos. And juega. Those are your stem changes. Querer, to want. Poder, to be able. Decir, to say. Jugar, to play. And then we've got a couple that are just even more special than this. They're special within the irregular, so they're all sorts of different. And that's going to be the verbs ser and ir. And ser that's in comparison to a star. A star. And that was like a temporary state of being. So you can say a star. You would use a star when saying like I'm angry. That's temporary. Whereas if you're tall, that's a permanent state of being. It's a permanent state of being. So the ser form, or the yo form of ser is soy. The tu form is es. The nosotros form is somos. And then the they form is son. And then I don't know why I just blanked out on that one. On what the usted. I'm gonna have to double check that. I don't know why. I think it's one of those things where you do it enough, and then when you actually have to really think about it, sometimes it's you just blank. And I apologize for that, but I'd rather get it right than not. That's gonna be. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up a simple thing. That's why. Tu is eres. And usted is es. That was such a simple thing. I messed it up, and that's what tripped me up. I apologize for that. So yeah, again, that's gonna be soy, es, eres, es, somos, and son. So again, soy is the yo form. Eres is the tu form. Es is the usted form. Somos is the nosotros form. And son is the ellos, ellas, ustedes form. Forgive me, every so often I have to brush up myself. I am not perfect, and that's part of why I like doing these videos with you all, is because it helps me review and learn too. So, ir is going to be voy. Tu is going to be vas. Usted is going to be va. Nosotros is going to be vamos. And ellos, ellas, ustedes is going to be van. So, voy, van, vas, vamos, van. As you can see, very different than the root of ir, which, let me clarify, means to go. Ir is to go. So one final review on our irregular verbs. Under the spelling changes, we've got conocer, to know, hacer, to do or to make, traer, to bring, salir, to leave or go out, saber, to know. And then we've got stem changes. Querer, to want, poder, to be able, decir, to say, jugar, to play. And then special, even within that, even within the irregulars, they're super weird. Ser, to be, a permanent state. And then ir, to go. So, those are your verbs for today. And again, these are all in present tense. So, in a future video, we'll go through the past tense and the future tense, because they kind of, again, they play by their own rules as well there. Now let's get into our A to Z portion. Hopefully this is something that you all continue to enjoy. The idea that we find words in English and then we find their Spanish translation. So I see a fun one here. So archer is going to be arquero. Let me see. Arquero. so you would just change it. So if it was a male, it'd be el dentista, or if it was a female, la dentista. The verb, or that stays the same regardless. Okay, we did egg before, I remember. Let's see. Alright, what do we want to pick from the E's? There's lots of different cognates that we could do. I don't know, for some reason this one stands out to me. Enzyme is enzima. 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 Enzyme is enzima. Here's a good one. Fact is going to be hecho. Hecho. H-E-C-H-O. Hecho. Hecho. Okay. Government is going to be gobierno. Gobierno. Government is gobierno. Gobierno. This is a good one. Headache. Dolor de cabeza. That's kind of a this is multiple words, so we'll go ahead and break it down. Dolor means pain, or to have pain. De is of, and cabeza is head, so it literally means pain of head, headache. Dolor de cabeza. Dolor de cabeza. Headache. Headache. Okay. What's next? We're in the eyes. What do we want to do here? We did loco, or we did insane before, which is loco. We did inteligente before too, which was a good one. Let's see. Intoxicated. That's a good one. AKA drunk. That's gonna be borracho. B-O-R-R-A-C-H-O. Borracho. Borracho. Intoxicated. If you had a little too much, if you got in over your skis. Borracho. Borracho. And then we will do, I can't remember if we did this before. Forgive me if we did. Justice. Justicia. Justicia. Justice. Justice. Not a whole lot to see in the K's, but let's see. We got what? One page. Get a little page turning in there. We're in the K's. Oh, very simple one. King is Rey. R-E-Y. Rey. King. King. Okay, we're in the L's. Let's do an organ. How about that? The liver. Hígado. Hígado. H-I-G-A-D-O. Hígado. 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 Another simple word that I feel like passes Simple. Simple one. Your name. Nombre. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? What is your name? Nombre. There we go. I'm learning right along with you guys on this one. Otter is nutria. Nutria. N-U-T-R-I-A. Nutria. Otter. How about that? Otter. Okay. I feel like it's too easy, but maybe, just in case people don't know, pig is cerdo. And maybe someday I'll just do a video where it's just animals, and I know I've talked about this before, but just animals, days of the week, colors, simple things. But I also want to make it worth people's time where they learn something new that they didn't know before, and not just something that they covered in the first week of high school Spanish. Alright, here's a good word actually for Q. Q is cola, and that's actually the same word for Q is for line. So Q or line is cola. And so if you wanted to say wait in line, hacer cola, you're waiting in line, hacerlo cola, which literally translated means to do a line. So, to be in line. Alright. Realtor. This is definitely not a cognate. Inmobiliario. No, is there an extra? Inmobiliario. Yeah, immobiliario. Not something you say 5 times stuff fast. Inmobiliario. No. Inmobiliario. 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 There we go. We got it figured out. Alright. Screech. That's a different word. So for that loud noise, screech is going to be chillido. Chillido. Screech. Chillido. Chillido. Lots of that to do in the S's. Okay. Tattoo. Tattoo is going to be retreta. Retreta. Not to be confused with the art of tattooing, which is tatuar. Retreta is a tattoo. Retreta. Okay. Here's an interesting verb. We'll do this one. Underline. Subrayar. Subrayar. Underline. Subrayar. Voter. That will be votante. Votante. Voter. And then W. Waiter. Camarero. Or camarera if a female waiter. Camarera. And as we have before, I think we're going to pass on XYZ just because there's not a whole lot there. So to review our words that we went through today: archer, arquero, bird, pájaro, calculator, calculadora, dentist, dentista, enzyme, enzima, fact, hecho, government, gobierno, headache, dolor de cabeza, drunk or intoxicated, borracho, justice, justicia, king, rey, liver, hígado, map, mapa, name, nombre, otter, nutria, pig, cerdo, Q or letreta, underline, subrayar, voter, votante, waiter, camarero. Alright, between that and our irregular verbs, I think that just about will cover it for today. So, as always, thank you for watching. If you've made it to this point and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love it if you would. Subscribing and liking videos is part of what allows people like me to continue to make videos for people like you, who I hope enjoy them. Thank you for watching, and I think we'll pick up in either the Bible or anatomy next time. I haven't decided which just yet. But thank you for continuing to watch these series.